Welcome back, everyone. It's Dell from VA on a cloudy Saturday morning on the 4th of April, 2020. I just wanted to touch base with everyone, let you guys know about some notes that I found online about COVID-19 and a couple of other things that I found interesting. First fact we'll talk about is the fact that there's over 1.1 million confirmed cases of COVID-19 with 278,000 plus in the US alone. Overall, there's been 60,000 deaths and 233,000 folks that have recovered. Second interesting fact is a chart that I found on NPR that is going to show up probably here or maybe there. It'll come in that way. Just take a look at that chart. Basically, it talks about what United States deaths could possibly happen, and talks about the fact that those numbers don't count in the possible second wave that may be coming once we get past this first wave. So just some key things to know about. Another third interesting fact that I found is a CDC website concentrating on everyday steps you can do to clean and disinfect your home and some extra steps you can take at home when someone actually is sick. So I'm going to post that link down below. I'll also repost the 30 days to curbing the spread that is from the White House website, and that website will be down below as well. Beside the standard high-touch surfaces, the CDC website does talk about cleaning your soft surfaces, electronics, and laundry with specific directions on disinfectant guidance and some other links as well to the daily life and coping with the current situation. Now we're going to jump into the fun stuff. First thing we're going to talk about is two great shows that I've been watching on Netflix. They're super funny, super interesting. One of them is even a little spooky if you're kind of into that thing. The first one is October Faction. It's about a family who battles monsters, and there's a little twist to it that I don't want to give away, but the children have superpowers. So you have to kind of dig into the show to figure out what that's all about. It is entertaining. I wouldn't recommend it for any children under 12. But it definitely is a good show to watch with the family if you have older kids and are stuck at home. The second show I'll talk about is a big hit all over the world, and it's called Tiger King. Chances are you've already seen it and already finished it. As we all know, this is not a show for kids, but there are cool tigers. I will say that. Lots of mystery and some unwritten parts to that story still to be seen as we get passed down some time. I'm sure that in the next couple of years some other revelations will come out because at the very end of the show, as we know, there are some updates that happened as recent as December of 2019 and even into the news as of yesterday. Joe Exotic did get placed in isolation due to confirmed COVID-19 cases at his particular facility. Now, it may seem counterintuitive to do at this time, but this is the perfect time to plan your dream vacation. One of the vacations I took in my lifetime was going to Italy, and it was pretty awesome. I did that in 2015, and I went to 6 different little locations and did it all by train, which was pretty cool. Down below, I'll post some links on some of the cool places I went to and the Train Italia website, so you could check it out. It is in English, and so it's pretty easy to move around. If you speak Spanish, you can read all the Italian signs anyway, so it's pretty easy to get around. It was a really great time, and I really had fun trying lasagna in every place. I don't really eat lasagna, but I had some lasagna at every location. It was kind of just the thing to do. So the best thing about that vacation was I had some gelato for the first time. I had never had gelato, so that was pretty cool. I had some real Italian cannolis, so that was awesome. And I had a thing called naked pasta in Venice, and it was uh, kind of misleading because the pasta comes just tossed in olive oil and rosemary and garlic. But it's amazing. It doesn't have any sauce or anything like that. So you think it's going to be bland, but it's actually not. It was amazing. So, and I did have it at a restaurant that has its table set up right on the Grand Canal. So it was outdoors, beautiful day in the summer, and it was a great time, great chow. The one place that I did go to that, oddly enough, it was in a travel guide, one of the ones I used here, um, was called Al Bacco Felice, which in Italian translates to the happy mouth. Um, it has only 1 star in the travel guide. I don't know why, because it's an amazing place. It's just not a big fancy restaurant. It has probably 5 outdoor tables and about 10 indoor tables. It's been there about 35 years, and it's amazing. It has great bread, and one of the coolest things there was at the end of the meal they brought out some cookies, and I was all like, "Oh, I didn't order that." But the funny thing is, the girl explains to me that they're in Venice, so with every meal, basically Venetian cookies fresh out of the oven come with the meal. So that was pretty cool. Because in my life I've had Venetian cookies, obviously the kind that come in the round tins that they sell in the supermarket that are always hard, and people usually have them with coffee. But fresh Venetian cookies out of the oven are amazing. So I was in my garage earlier this week, and I was doing some cleanup and stuff, and I saw one of my favorite books on cars, and I thought to myself, hey, I'll talk about some cars this week. So I was looking through the book and kind of getting an idea for what cars to talk about, and all that. But I decided that I'm just going to talk about 2 cars. One is a 1959 Cadillac, and the second is a 2020 Aston Martin. First, the Cadillac, because it's such a classic car. When you see it in the pictures, you'll definitely recognize it as the original Batman car. So you'll definitely like that. I'll also put a link down below to a website that is posted for selling classic cars like that, and you can read a little bit about the car and see some more pictures. And then for the Aston Martin, I'll tell you a few facts and figures about that vehicle, and I'll post some pictures and a link down below so you can look at that. Okay, first and foremost, look at the book. So one of my favorite books because it is about cars, but more importantly because it was a great deal. $4.99. When you go to the bookstore, never ever 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 pay full price. Always look at the budget books and the things on sale. And if you ever go to a place called Second and Charles, they always have books outside of the doors that are under $5. And you'd be surprised what you find there. Some pretty cool things. So the 59 Caddy was a boat of a car, 20 feet long, 6 foot wide, and had 42-inch fins. Like I said earlier, it was the classic Batman car, and here's a version of the pink Cadillac. Pretty amazing. One of the best notes I like in here is that it says, even though it felt like it was jet powered, excuse me, it handled like the Exxon Valdez because it was huge. Now, the Aston Martin is a totally different kind of car. It's a British car. Most people remember it in the early days as the James Bond car. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of classic. It was the DB4 model that was the James Bond car. But the car that I'll talk about today is going to be the 2020 Aston Martin. It's a Vantage AMR, and I'll show you some pictures probably coming in here. The 2020 Aston Martin Vantage AMR comes in at retail for just over 203,000. It's a great vehicle. It has a turbocharged V8 that has a very similar engine to what's in the 2019 and 2020 Mercedes-Benz S560. The S560 only comes in at about 125,000 retail. So if you're just looking for a high-powered engine in a luxury car, then that Mercedes-Benz might be more your flavor. But the Aston Martin in and of itself is just a beautiful work of art. And I'll post a link down below so you can look at all the interior pictures and kind of see what I'm talking about. Enjoy. Okay, before I get out of here, I just wanted to give you 2 tips about working from home. Um, First is routine. Build yourself a routine. Try not to get too far off your normal sleep pattern. But of course, try to sleep in and take advantage of this time. So one thing I like to do is on Sunday night, I take about an hour to make myself a little list of things that I want to do. One for work and 2 for kind of things at home that I want to knock out in the week. So I kind of have some goals set up for myself. And the second tip is safety. Obviously, they tell you to call the doctor ahead of time if you're coming in if you think you have COVID, or contact your local doctor by phone, Skype, or Zoom if you think you're sick in any other way. So when it comes to safety, you want to try to avoid the standard mishaps that can happen at home. The falling in the showers or falling down the stairs or cutting yourself, those kind of things. So be aware of what you're doing. Don't wear chanclas all day. Chanclas are flip flops for those of you who don't know. So if you're in chanclas all day and you're trying to move stuff around in the garage or move a coffee table in your living room, you can stub your toe, fall, roll your ankle, just little things like that. And worst of all is if you're in chanclas and you fall, a lot of times you land on your face. So you don't want to injure yourself. So just be very aware of what you're doing. Okay. So everyone out there, be safe. Make sure you're hydrating and make sure you're washing your hands. Take care.